Hello, today I've got loads more updates that I've been working on over the last week. I've installed the rubber pads, it actually came with them behind this, and screwed it back into place. And it's definitely not the noisy vibration now. Still the noise of the fan, but not the little rickety bit. I've finally insulated and carpeted these rear doors and put on some handles so they're easy to close from the inside. They're a little bit rough around the edges, but I'll worry about that later. Okay, inside I've got the mattress in, and the mattress has been the mattress cover was glued to the mattress. I'm using the same glue I normally put the carpet on with, and this is a military style blanket that I've just tucked under as like a bed sheet because I don't want the white mattress on show. So you've seen all this side and you've seen all this side. The main area now is over there. Let's go for a close-up. This unit's been finished off. I've colour coded those black battery supports in there with either a bit of carpet or some spray paint. This unit you may well have seen last time. The back panel there, it's held in place by magnets to all my electrical system. Well, the main body of it. Obviously I've got two spurs for the TV and for the fan area. So now above this I've made this unit, and I've just put these on for effect. Tied it up a little bit. I've mounted my battery monitor up there. That's the NASA BM2. That's my current state of charge. If we had to reset that to get that back, it was showing 105% 1 minute and 70% the next. So the top is for spices, etc. And I'm sure I'll fill that with various things up there. Then a bigger shelf in between, and splashback there. Add a bit of colour to it, and that's various storage things I've got in there. So I'm really happy with that unit. Now I'm planning on installing the diesel heater controller. Yeah, still on the old one from 2018 up there somewhere. Haven't quite done that yet. I'm also considering some lighting for the actual unit itself. Let's come back. Now, down here, I've got my fire blanket in a pouch, and the fire extinguisher is mounted to the back of the seat, making use of some of that space down there that does get wasted. Now, just in the corner there is my battery charger, my Noco Genius 10. Let me cut to that. So, visible from the front, it's currently not plugged in. I've reset the battery monitor, so I'm leaving a small load on it for a while before I allow it to charge. This area is not quite tidy yet. I've got to worry about other cables if I'm putting lighting up. So that's just behind the driver's seat there. Still plenty of air access down there. At some point I'll put some sort of grill on to the electrical panel. I also need to add a battery isolator. I've got fuses, but I want an isolator so I can isolate it myself without having to take the huge fuses out of the fuse box. I still have to decide where I'm going to put my tank for my diesel heater, and I need to finish from here across with whatever I do. I do have, as some of you will know, a double seat with a double seat swivel. I also have the idea of fabricating some sort of storage unit for there, and I'm totally undecided yet, but I've got a metal strip to go along there, the seal to whatever I go. Perhaps if it's carpet that side and the vinyl tiles this side, I've got a strip that will cover up along that, so it'll look much better. I installed this strip there. I did buy a replacement one of these, and it was rubbish. I weighed it and it was only 3/4 of the weight of the original, and it was supposedly bigger or deeper. So not impressed. I'm probably going to cook sometimes up on that unit, sometimes down on the floor here, and sometimes outside the van. So that's why I haven't got a fixed place for the small hob that I've got, small stove. I put a net on the front door of that loo cupboard. Now I'm pretty sure that I'm going to change that loo. I'm going to get rid of that Thetford porta potty. I've never used it. I've had it a while. I've had it 2 years, never used it. Obviously I haven't been in a van for a while, but yeah, it's bulky and I don't see the need. I'm going to get one of those carp fishing bivvy loo type things that are just disposable one-offs, because that's my only intention for it. I do use a pee bottle, so yeah, it's like, if it's a one-off and then you've got to worry about all the liquids and storage of all the chemicals, yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. So put just on a, I thought it was a cheap tin sign. It's actually quite a well-made sign on there, just to cover up some bad gluing and seams and stuff. So found the solution to this, and that's just to push that in, and then that lines up perfectly with a cup in the middle. And if I just wedge something in there, that won't come out. I don't really need the chain. But there's another net there. These storage things do come in handy. Another storage net on there, and you can see the line of where it hits the, you see the line on there of where it hits the bed in a snug fit. Another storage net there, and I plan on mounting to that door perhaps a I've got a little entrenching tool and an axe I might put in the pocket. A couple of things like that I might do. Now that hole was already in that piece of wood, because it's recycled out in the old van, and that was the vent from the diesel heater from underneath the unit. So I've reused that, so that's the reason it's got that weird thing in. Now these are going to be full of clothes. Same up the top there. It's got the top bit on it now, but I should put a cargo net over the top there and make use of the storage there. I want to install a cabinet on this door, and when I built it with some solid wood behind the carpeted panel, up and across, not down the other side. It's too thin there, but that means I should be able to fix some sort of metal cabinet. But looking at things like electrical box or first aid cabinets, something like that that can store perhaps some toiletries in and things like that, that'll fit on that door and fit between, partly up to that gap, and open perhaps a little bit from inside the van. So I need to have a look at that, what I'm going to do there. Quite a few little updates there since my last video. Do appreciate all the comments I get and how well it's coming on, and even some comments that have known me since 2014 when I first started my channel, from people back then. So that, you know, that's fantastic, and it's really appreciated that you watch. I usually get about 100 views in the first few days on my videos, so not a lot, but that's probably 90 odd people that I have no idea who they are, and perhaps up to 10 that I get on a regular basis. And I really appreciate you guys watching the comments. It does motivate me somewhat and helps me, you know, move on with projects and get things done. Now today's April the 1st, and today's video will be going out live. I know there was one a couple of days ago, and it took me a week to get that edited and uploaded because it was lots of little things. So yeah, so this is the day that I was supposed to be, you know, quitting everything and going off. No, it's not going to happen. Mentioned the other day, I'm dead set on going to Ireland and touring the coast of Ireland, including the Wild Atlantic Way. Perhaps my route will be to travel to Pembrokeshire and catch the ferry from there across to Rosslare, and then go down the south coast up the west coast, the Wild Atlantic Way, around across the Northern Ireland, back down, do Dublin, and then Rosslare. Now, I don't anticipate doing that in just a couple of weeks. When I've looked at guide to the Wild Atlantic Way, how many days have you got, or have you got a couple of weeks? If you've got a month, that'd be great. You know, I may spend 6 months doing that. Who knows? It'll probably take me right through the winter by the time I get started. And then from Rosslare, once I've finished a complete loop, you know, I can either come back to the UK, or I could catch a ferry to Cherbourg. Wouldn't that be nice? Something I've always wanted to do. I've nearly always lived my life on the south coast of England, and even or in northern France, but I've never done a battlefield tour. So if I was to catch the ferry from Rosslare to Cherbourg, I could then come across the north of France, and I'm talking about spring next year, and back up from Calais to Dover, and that would be a fantastic way of rounding off my trip. I've got plenty of places I'm going to be visiting in the spring and summer before I can go to Ireland. You know, I have to wait till Ireland to be ready, and they're behind the UK, you know, with COVID and vaccinations, etc. So I'm anticipating September, and I've got a wedding the first weekend of September, and I hope to be able to go a few days after that. Got a few weddings this summer, not as many as I'd like to have, but you know, it's all helping fund the trip. And you know, my trip many years ago didn't last as long as I wanted to. I've still never been to Scotland in my life, which is amazing, seeing some of the countries I've been to and visited and toured for lengths of time. So Scotland will be on the agenda, but that'll be next year, because I think this year everybody's going to be going to Scotland, and I think having the time to go for months and months to Ireland will be fantastic. And I've got a little bit of money saved, and I'll have a bit more by the time I go. You know, and although I'll be in a camper van and I'll be wild camping and stealth camping a lot of the times, it seems to be a lot more tolerated, especially on the west coast of Ireland with the Wild Atlantic Way. I will be spending, you know, a few grand on my travels in the local community and stuff, so it'll be good for their tourism thing once they're ready and up and running. So lots of things I've got to do. I've got so many things to sell. I've got a few surplus tools as well to get rid of, and so there's plenty to do, including earning a few extra quid over the next couple of months. Anyway, I just wanted to, there's a couple of people that agreed on the Jackery. I don't actually know anybody that's bought one, although someone appeared to have bought one in Van City Van Life's video last week. It was a lady who lived in a Jeep, not for much longer, but she has lived in a Jeep for the last 6 or 7 months, and it appears that she might have bought one, because Van City Van Life got given 3 from Jackery a couple of years ago, and he's gifted 2 of them away, and I think he's got a new one coming. Yeah, I'm sure there are reviews out there. The best review I've ever seen on a Jackery was done by David Malucky. Hello, and he took his apart. He got it. He took it apart. Brilliant. And he did say that he was impressed that it's got some sort of anti-condensation spray on it and things like that. And it was, you know, quite tidy inside. But expensive, and I'd rather spend my money, you know, to get the system I'd want. I'd need the £1,099 one plus 2 sets of 100-watt solar panels. That would cost me, what's that, 1,600 quid, 1,700 quid, a lot of money, but it would suit, they obviously suit someone. I just want to show you what I've got, and I mentioned it in my last video. This is by Tack Life. You might have seen these before. The exact model isn't available on Amazon. Hopefully there's nothing wrong with it, but it's a 20 amp battery power starter. It's got a torch, strobe, red flashing light, couple of USB ports, and it comes with, I don't know where it is at the moment, a little 12-volt socket that plugs into that, so you can plug anything that has a 12-volt socket into it. So that's that. But it's primary thing, and you can see the jump leads in there. Really good jump leads. A little pack that plug in the end underneath that, and it's jump started this van a couple of times and my friend's car a couple of times. Anyway, hope I've kept that quick enough. But that is 4 amps bigger, and it's lithium, than the basic Jackery at 2.5 times the price. You know, and if you can't go camping for a weekend without, you know, take one of these. This one's a 10 amp. This is made by Anchor. Fast charge thing. It's got USB-C on it and whatever. But this is 10 amps. 10 amps of power in that little thing. Charge it when the engine is on. Charge it before you leave. Perfect. And these cost about 30 odd quid. You know, you've all seen them before. And that's 10 amp. A Jackery, basic Jackery is only 16. There are some links in the description below to various things I've used in this van build, and also links to my website and all the stuff I've used that I can possibly link to. I do earn a small commission on that. Everybody knows the little Amazon commission link. I've up to date earned 37 pence, so I'm well away from being paid out. But at some point, every little helps. Now, I hope you haven't turned off because I've mentioned Jackery or Poweroak, but I think we're about to get the 3rd wave of them. I've seen a scheduled video for tonight. You've probably already seen it, and I reckon that the people that were given them for free have been asked to do a few shout outs about them, and then a reminder a couple of weeks later, and I think that's just about to hit. Well, might be wrong, but who knows. So what I want to do next is some personal things to the van, get some stuff in, see how much it can take, you know, the storage areas under the bed, what's useful, what's not. And I'd also like to hear from any of you that have been to Ireland, especially those who've done the Wild Atlantic Way, as it's known now, or before it was created as what it is. Supposedly the world's largest sort of scenic drive in one route, which is quite impressive. You know, the other side of that road is, or that coast is, you know, is the Atlantic Ocean across to Canada and America. So, you know, it's fantastic, rough, rugged, and just perfect, and a lot quieter than I think Scotland's going to be this year. And God help us if you try and go to Cornwall this year, I think it's going to be mental. And so will the lakes, and so will all the main places. So it's a case of finding alternative places, and, you know, there's thousands and thousands of miles of coast, and I love being near the coast, and that's what I'll do in the spring and summer. And then September will be islands, and then the spring next year will perhaps be northern coast of France, and then next summer maybe I'll get up to Scotland or something. Anyway, as always, I really appreciate you watching. I've waffled on for long enough. I do still have some stickers. In fact, I've got a load of stickers left. I've sent out quite a few. There will be details below of how to get a free sticker. I'll post them to you as well if you want. There'll be an email address in the description to this video. Just send me an email and say, please, can you send me a sticker? And obviously provide your address. I won't use the address. That'll be it. It'll be done, dusted. There's no marketing thing on the end of it. It's just a free sticker. I don't see the need to charge 5 or 6 quid at this point for my first attempt at a sticker, an on the road sticker. Once I'm on the road, I'll be able to make some decent picture stickers, but until now you'll have to put up with one with a dirt track and some haystacks that's just down the road from here. Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll see you again next week.